Hello, dear students. Welcome to the class of Health and Physical Education, Unit 8 Fundamentals of Anatomy, Physiology, Kinesiology in Sports. And today's topic which we are going to learn, that is properties of muscles. Now, we are going to learn what are the properties of muscles. But before that, I want to discuss related to the muscles. There are three types of muscles: voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles, and cardiac muscles. Voluntary muscles are those muscles are considered as a skeletal muscle. That means that which is on our body, which act, which contract, and which extend according to our wish. That's why it has been called as a voluntary muscle. Involuntary muscles, that means that their control is not in our hand. These muscles are smooth muscles, and that mostly you may find out these muscles in our intestine part. And the third category we are having type muscle is cardiac muscle, which has been present in heart. So we are having types of muscles, but most of these muscles are being considered as these muscles are being considered as voluntary muscles. Our body, that is skeletal muscle. So we are going to learn one by one the properties of muscles. But before that, we are going to have the introduction of the muscles. So muscle plays an important role in the movement of the human body. Almost every single movement of the human body is a result of muscle contraction. Whatever the movement which we used to do, either we used to walk, either we used to lift, either we used to move our finger, these all are every single movement of the human body is a result of muscle contraction, where due to this muscle contraction that used to shorten and lengthen. It's like a elastic band. You can see in the picture, this is one of the picture of the muscle. This is a skeletal muscle, that is voluntary, depends upon our wish as we used to move. These muscles also assist in the blood circulation. They protect and hold in place of the abdominal organs. They also provide the shape to the body. The most of the shape to the body is being provided by the skeletal muscle. You have seen that many of the personality people, those who used to go to gym, you may have seen their muscles. They are having due to their muscles, their body output that used to look totally different and attractive also. They also provide shape to the body. The skeletal muscle work under the control and make use of them in our day-to-day life. So skeletal muscle, what they used to do, they work under the control. Skeletal muscle work under the control and make use them day-to-day. That means that main is a skeletal muscle. These are called as skeletal muscles. So here in the picture, let me show you. For example, if we want to lift any of the object, then how it is this our muscle used to contract, or how our bicep are contracted when, for example, if we are having an exercise of the dumbbells. From the brain, the signal is being sent through our nerve system, and at the neuromuscular junction, you can see here in the picture a web like structure that used to give the signal to the muscle to contract, lengthen and shorten. And accordingly, what happens? The contraction of the muscle is being done, and we used to lift the object, or we are using our dumbbells, we are lifting the dumbbells, and again relaxation position. So other muscles are not under our control, because skeletal muscles are in our control. That means that the muscles which are in our control are considered as skeletal muscles. That's why it has been considered voluntary muscles that are in our control, and rest of other are not in our control. That is related to our intestine and our heart. Other muscles are not under our control, and they work automatically. The heart muscles, you have seen the heart used to pump, that used to pump automatically. You can't control your heart to stop, and you do not use to make him run. So that's why this works automatically. These are the called as in smooth and or involuntary muscles. Such muscles are called as in smooth and involuntary muscles. Clear? Then more introduction. The heart is a very specialized type of involuntary muscle called as in cardiac muscle. That this heart muscle is being called as in cardiac muscle, that is also involuntary. The smooth muscle is also involuntary, that is not in our control. As well as cardiac muscle is also considered as an involuntary muscle. Muscle cells are also known as in muscle fibers or mucocytes, mycocytes, and the fundamental units of our muscles. The human have three types of muscles: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. Skeletal muscle, the muscles which are in all our body, that is been considered as skeletal muscle. Smooth muscle in the intestine, and the cardiac muscle in the our heart. That the heart is being made up of cardiac muscle. Our skeletal muscles are under the conscious control. Our skeletal muscles are under conscious control. That means that it depends upon our control whether we want to contract or we want to relax, and we want to just, it depends upon us that how we want to move. So while our smooth muscles are found in the wall of our blood vessels and our hollow organs, and the cardiac muscles are not. The 45% weight of the human body is because of the muscle. The 45% of the weight of our body is because of our muscles. There are three internal reactions of the contraction. So they are the properties of these muscles. What are the properties are being given here, that is contractility, excitability, extensibility, and elasticity. You can see here these names. These are the properties of muscles: contractility, excitability, extendability, and elasticity. The muscle can be extended, the muscle can contract, muscle can extend, that is excited, as well as the muscle is also been stretched. Clear? Let's learn the property. So properties of muscles. The first is contractility. In case of the skeletal muscle cells contract when stimulated by the neural input. As I have told that the brain used to send the signal through our nerves, and the nerves are being attached at the neuromuscular junction that used to give the signal to the muscles to contract, because here also there is a deposition of the calcium ions in our muscles which used to work and which helps them to contract and relax. So the muscle cell contract with when stimulated by the neural input. Smooth and the cardiac muscle do not require any input, because they do not require any of the suggestions or the advice that whether you want to whether you contract or not. They are working by their own automatically. So that's why in case of the skeletal muscle, the muscle cells contract when stimulated by the neural input. When our brain used to give the signal, or the nerve system used to give the signal, no, that we want to stand up, we want to just walk, we want to lift, we want to move our fingers. So these all things are being possible. These the muscle cells used to contract only with the help of this when it is being stimulated by the neural input. That means that when the signal is being sent by our brain. So whereas the smooth and the cardiac muscle do not require this input. When a muscle cell is excited, when the muscle cell is excited, the impulse travel along the various membrane of the cell to its interior. That means that various impulses are used to travel from one part to another part through over the nervous system, through the nerves, travel with the various membrane of the cell to its interior, where it's lead to an opening of the calcium channels. And when the signals are being sent to the various, because there are the many muscles, you may find out that all used to contract together. For example, when we are talking about the bicep is not made up of a single muscle. You may find out there are the various bands, and one of the single cell that is being known as a sarcomere. So that means that each and every these cells, they used to get the signal from the brain, and then after all together they used to work together. So here what happens, calcium ion flows and bind to the protein molecule called as a troponin, leading to a sequential change in the shape and the position of the associate protein, tropomyosin and myosin and actin. There are the two types of protein in our muscle, actin and myosin. The upshot is that the myosin binds to the small strand within the cell called as an myofilaments and pull them along with the causing the cell to shorten or contract. So here when the signal is being sent to the muscle used to extend and it used to contract. When the calcium ion gets deposited, it used to extend and contract again back to the position. Since this is going on simultaneously and in a coordinated fashion in thousands of myocytes at the same time, the muscle as the whole contracts. There are the many of these muscle cells that used to get the signal by the brain through the help of this neuromuscular junction, that is the calcium ion used to get deposited, and then afterward the muscle used to contract. That is only one cell. Then for example, as I was talking about the bicep, there are many cells are there, and that all used to work together, that used to coordinate into a fashion in the thousands of myocytes, because myofibrils, we are talking about this fibers, there are many of the fibers that used to contract. At the same time, the muscle as a whole contracts, and what happens, the muscle used to contract and our hand used to get lifted. If possible, I will send one of the video also, that how our muscle used to work, how the muscle cells used to function. We are that I am going to, if it is possible, then I will send you. I will send the link. You can go through that link and you can just get an idea that how it used to work. Then second is excitability. For a muscle to contract and do work, its cells must be stimulated, most often by the nerve supplying them. For excitability means get excited, the muscle to contract and do the work. What is the next function is, first is contraction. That means that muscle used to contract. When they used to get the signal by our neural inputs has been given, the muscle used to contract. Then afterward excitability also, the muscle contracts and do its work. Its cell must be stimulated, most often by the nerve supplying them. That means that main thing is nerves used to supply. The nerve impulse causes the release of the neurotransmitter that is known as acetylcholine at the nerve muscle junction, and the acetylcholine activates the receptor on the surface of the muscle cells. See, this is a little bit of language which you used to found little bit difficult until and unless you used to learn with the help of this videos. This result into the influx of the positivity charge and the sodium ions into the muscle cells and depolarization of this muscle cell membrane. Here what happens, the calcium ion used to get deposited, that used to contract, and then afterwards what happens, again due to the depolarization of the muscle cell membrane, what happens, the muscle used to come into the normal position. If the membrane becomes sufficiently depolarized, an action potentially results, the muscle cell is then excited from the electrochemical standpoint. In a simple sense, when we are talking at that time, let us make it very clear to you. The main thing is that when our brain used to give the signal to the muscle that you need to contract, there are the myofibrils, and there are the muscle cells which used to get the signal to contract, and they used to contract and they used to extend with the help of the process. There is a chemical process also used to work there, that if possible you just go through that video. I will send you the link and you will going to learn with the help of that easily. Clear? So this is what the chemical process used to go on during the muscle contraction and relaxation, that we are going to learn. Clear? Then the third property is elasticity. Elasticity, this is one of the property. When something is described as elastic, that means elasticity as talking about a rubber band that are being considered elastic because it is used to vary its size and again come back to the normal position. This is simply a statement that can stretch or contracted by some amount above or below its resting. at some amount is going to contract, it is going to stretch, and again coming back to the normal position. Resting or default length without damaging it, without damaging the length of that band or a rubber band. That means when we are talking about the muscle, it's like a rubber band only, but it extends or it is stretched to up to some extent only, without damaging the length, without damaging it. And that will return to the resting length once the stimulus for the stretching or contraction is removed. Once the stimulus is been removed, that means again coming back to the normal position. For example, the person is running, continuous movement of the arm, contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation, that used to go continuously. So that means that deposition of the calcium ions, and again then afterwards the calcium ion used to depolarize, or after the process of depolarization, again it come back to the normal position. That means the stimulus is means which used to stimulate your muscles, which used to get excite your muscles. The stimulus for the stretching or contraction is removed. Your muscles require the property of elastic recoil for them to be able to do their job, because our muscles that is having a property of extension and contraction that used to get stretched. That's why elasticity is one of the property of muscle. If say your bicep muscle fail to recoil to their resting length after being stretched during the series of the curling exercise, they would become slack, and slack muscle with no tension are unable to generate any force. Slack, you have seen that the person, when I was talking about the dumbbells, when the person used to use the dumbbell, and for example if they are lifting the dumbbells or they have just came back to the normal position, so here when they are bringing up to the normal position, resting length are being stretched, are totally being stretched. And if they would for example if this bicep muscle fail to recoil, and if they are not able to recoil, means they are not going to get the strength, or they are overstretched. Let us talk like a simple, if they are very overstretched, then there will be no there will be a slack, the muscle will be of no use without any tension, and will be unable to generate the force. And then second time when you want to generate the force, it is not being possible to generate the force, and therefore useless as a lever. And will be unable to generate any force, and are therefore useless as lever. That will become like a useless, only it will work like a lever, but there will be no force, without any force. Then fourth property is extensibility. Extension, that is to extend. The most of your body cells lack the capacity to stretch, attempting to do so only damages or destroy them. So your long cylindrical muscle cells, however, have the different stories, because one muscles are being as we are talking about the myofibrils, there are the many of the myofibrils that all together makes the muscle cells, and then afterwards all that muscle cells together, that becomes a one muscle. So muscle, they are being that's why it is being told here that your long cylindrical muscle cells have, however, have a different stories. Different story means they are overlapped one above another. Muscle cells contract, and in order them to retain this ability, they must accordingly possess the extensibility also. The muscle cell used to contract, and in order to then they must retain its ability. They must accordingly possess the extensibility also, or the capacity to lengthen. Again, they must muscle cells contract, and in order them to retain this ability, they must accordingly possess the extensibility or the capacity to lengthen. They must possess the extensibility and the capacity to lengthen. Your muscle cells can be stretched to about 3 times their contracted length. 3 times their contracted length, it is been extended 3 times length without rupturing. Rupturing means that we need, when we are stretching, when a person is been doing in any of the stretching exercise, it is been extended or stretched up 3 times to their contracted length. This is important because a lots of coordinated movements, so called antagonist muscle, operates such that one is lengthening while the other is contracting. For example, when we are talking about the bicep and tricep, when we lift our hand, the one of the muscle, you have seen that our bicep used to get extend, or that our bicep used to get contract, then our tricep will be extended. And if when our tricep is contracted, our bicep is extended. So here that side has been called that it is this movement has been called as this is an important because lots of coordinated movement, so called as an antagonist. Agonist and antagonist muscles operate such that one length is lengthening while the other is contracting. For example, when you run, the hamstring in the back of your thigh contracts while your quadriceps are being extended. That means that one used to come outside. That means that when we are another used to get stretched, totally stretched. Contract while your quadriceps are extended and conversely. Clear? So from my side this much. If I used to able to find out the link, I will send you the link. You just watch the video for this muscle. You will enjoy and it will be easy for you to understand. Thank you from my side. Thank you, and prepare the notes on the basis of this.